Hello Stampers! I decided to make a pretty little scene for you, but we're going under the water this time, and we're going to show the ocean bottom, and we're going to do that with the Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set by Stampin' Up. This has some wonderful images that you can use, and then also for our greeting here, it says thank you. This is a brand new stamp set from Stampin' Up, Go To Greetings, and it is fabulous. I love these big images here that just stand alone on your card front. You don't have to do a lot to them. I mean, you don't have to put them on tags or anything. They're just big and bold, and I think they're wonderful. I love that font. So we're going to start on our project here. There's a lot going on here. We have an embossed background panel here, and also we have a heat embossed seashell. So the seashell is very shiny on this. I'm hoping the camera's picking that up. And it just gives a more realistic look, and it brightens those colors that you put on them. So let me show you how that's all done. So we're going to start with a basic white panel that's 3 3/4 square. Now all the dimensions for the panels are down below this video. Just click show more under the description and you'll see them all listed there, along with all the links to the products that'll take you directly to my online store where you can shop with me 24/7. Now we're going to do some direct to paper. And I'm going to start with Smoky Slate ink. And I'm going to be using the short end of the ink pad, and I'll be dragging it along our panel here. And I'm just adding some streaks. Now I like these different colored streaks in here of gray. Now, since we're doing direct paper on this, no two of your designs will be the same. Just know that ahead of time. So that was Smoky Slate. Next I'm going to add some Balmy Blue to this. Now here's where you kind of want to make a decision on what you want the top of your panel to be and the bottom of your panel to be. I think I want the top to be this lighter section here. And I'm going to streak some blue in on this one too. And then down here I'm going to use the edge, and I'm just going to wipe it across a few times. Just going different directions. Making some streaks across there. So that was Balmy Blue. Let's bring in some Pool Party next. I love the combination of these two colors because it really does give you an ocean look. Again, I'm going to do that same thing I did with streaking it back and forth. I'm still using that short edge there. So that was Pool Party. I love doing these direct to paper backgrounds. They're just so much fun. And like I said, everyone's different, so you just never know what you're going to get. Now this is soft suede, and we're going to do that same thing. We're going to just add some color in here, just a few little streaks, just to darken up that bottom just a bit. Now I like the look of that. And there's our background. I'm going to go ahead and take that soft suede, and I'm going to stamp our sentiment on the top of our water here. There we go. Isn't that a pretty font? And that again came out of the Go To Greetings stamp set. That was done with our soft suede ink. And now we're going to set that background aside, and we're going to bring in a piece of white cardstock here. This is 2.5 by 5, and it's just a scrap of paper because we're going to stamp our seashell, and then we're going to color it and then cut it out. So you just need, a scrap of it. All right, so I'm inking this up with soft suede. I'm going to stamp off once, and I want this to be 2nd generation. See how dark that is, and how light you get with 2nd generation. And I like this color better. I think it'll stand out better on our card and won't be so dark. Okay, so I got a dark Pool Party Stampin' Blend marker, and we're just going to add a little color to our seashell here. And I'm just going to add a little bit in a couple different places. So like right there, maybe this section here, a little through the middle, add some through here. Well, I just want just that hint of color. All right, and now I'm going to cut it out. And here I have it all cut out. And I've darkened this bottom of the seashell because that's the side that's going to be laying against the sand, and so that would naturally be a little darker in color, like a shadow. So all I did was take a soft suede and a blending brush and just went across the bottom of this to get that dark edge. Okay, so there is our seashell when I cut it out with my paper snips. So it's all ready to go. We got one more thing to do to it. We're going to heat emboss it, and that will just make it shine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay it down and just pat my Versamark pad all over it. And this makes it tacky, so it will hold my embossing powder. So I have that all over the front of my seashell now. And I have a tub of embossing powder here. You could just sprinkle yours on, but with my tub, I can just lay it face down in my tub here. I'm just patting the back just to get that to stick to the front. There it is. It's covered now. So it's time for a heat gun. That was clear embossing powder I put on it. So I'm just going to take my heat tool and I'm going to heat it up just until it turns shiny. Might take a minute for my heat tool to heat up here. There it goes. I'm going to turn it around here. There we go. Now that seashell is really shiny now. And there it is. Just that little effort, and it just takes it up a notch to where your seashell looks a little more realistic, and it looks so vibrant now. It was a little dull before, but now it's very vibrant. So there is that. And then I'm going to stamp one more thing on our background panel here. We have this little plant that is in the Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set, and I'm going to use Pool Party ink to stamp this just a few times in the background here. Just to add a little plant happenings. And now it's time to add our seashell on. I'm going to use multi-purpose glue, but you use whatever adhesive you have. I'm going to add it with the tip up a bit. Here we go. And if you found you got embossing on the back, it may not want to stick really well. I'm going to see if mine will stick if I hold it here for just a second. If not, you can always put a mini glue dot behind whatever part's sticking up. So there's my seashell on there. And our panel is almost all done. We got one more thing. I'm going to bring out the soft suede again. And I'm going to bring in a sponge this time, and I just want to grunge up this background a bit. And I'm going to take this all the way around each edge, and I'm just scraping my sponge that has soft suede on it against the edge, just to darken that. Kind of grunging it up a bit. And that dark edge brings the viewer's eye into the scene a bit. Really frames it out nicely. So now it's time to assemble our card. I'm just going to flip my scrap paper over here. There we go. That way I don't have to worry about getting ink on my panels that I don't want to. Now I cut two basic white panels that are 4 by 5.25. One of them I ran through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine using the Seashells 3D embossing folder. This is a beautiful folder. It has all these seashell designs on it, and so it works perfectly with our main panel here. And we're going to add some ribbon to this. And I thought pool party ribbon would be just perfect. So I'm just going to cut a length here that's a little longer than the card. Bring in some mini glue dots to attach this ribbon to the back. So I'm going to just figure out where I want it, and I want it about 1 inch from the right side. I'm going to flip it over here, and I'm going to add mini glue dot to each end to tack those ends down to the back of the panel. Here's one. Just make sure you press that ribbon down into that mini glue dot so it sticks really well. And that's all you need, is just one dot per side there. All right. So now I've got a soft suede card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5. And remember I said we cut two of those white panels that were 4 by 5.25. We embossed one and we put one on the inside. So here's our card base. We're going to put this on the front. Just going to glue it on here. Here we go. Flip it over and give it a rub there. And there we have it. We're going to put our main panel on here, and I'm going to pop this up using Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm going to get these dimensionals on here and take the backs off, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have my dimensionals all on, the backing's taken off of them, and I'm going to put this towards the bottom of the panel. Just center it up here. There we go. I just love that with an embossed panel. It just looks so pretty. So now I want a bow on the top. So I'm just going to cut a piece of ribbon here. I like to do this upside down. I'm going to slide my ribbon underneath that first piece. Give it a tie. Tie it in a bow. There we go, and then I'm just going to trim the legs. And there we have our bow that's on. And I love that sheer ribbon. It doesn't distract from your main panel, but it gives it some feminine look there. And I think I would just want a few little pearls down here in the sand area. I'm going to grab some of these basic pearls out. I'm just going to add some along the bottom here. Just kind of spread them out. I like to do an uneven number. A couple over here. There we go. Now we have just a pretty little card, little speckling of pearls on there. And that is our card for today. I hope you enjoyed this project and that you give it a go and that you're really inspired just to get those inks and stamps out and get inky today. Thanks for joining me. Bye.